Hey everybody, this is Laura Whitmore with BackStory Events, and we're broadcasting live today from the NAMM show in Anaheim, California. It's a musical instrument convention, so today we're going to be talking about some awesome gear. We've also got some great players coming over. Steve Vai's up next at 2:40. We've got Nuno Betancourt today. Lita Ford will be here. Gretchen Menn. So definitely stick around. We're going to be talking gear and music and lots more. So right here with me right now, I have Brian Ewald from PRS Guitars. Hey, Brian.
How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How's the show going for you guys?
It's been fantastic. Very busy.
I just heard that you had John Mayer over there.
We did. John released a signature amp with PRS just days before NAMM, so he came in to do a press conference and demo it, and it was fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
Great sounding amp.
Wonderful. So what do you got there? Tell us about this guitar.
So this is the PRS Vela. It's a relatively new model. It came out in the past year, but what the updated version for 2017, this model is a satin finish. It's a limited run. It's only going to be available order window for January and February, but it's an all nitro satin, very thin. You can see there's no grain filler in it, so the satin finish sinks right into the wood. It's very kind of worn in kind of vibe, but the neck feels great and worn in. It's a very different, if you're not familiar with the PRS line, it's a big departure from many of the guitars of the past. Great sounding single coil neck pickup, a lot of cool variety in it.
That's cool. So what kind of wood is that?
This is mahogany, all mahogany, mahogany neck through construction, and rosewood fingerboard, and all the satin models come stock with a tortoiseshell pickguard too, which to me just adds a nice touch of zest.
Can you give us a little hint on like what kind of player might fall in love with that guitar?
Yeah, so it's I mean it can cover, like as you see this spot is pulled out, it'll split the bridge pickup into a single coil, and you can get these really cool, almost kind of spanky country tones out of it. It can get into the, a lot of the offset body style is new to PRS, this actual body design. So definitely more of a retro vintage. I mean, you can, like, a surf player, indie player, blues. I mean, actually, Hunter and I just did a Facebook Live on the PRS site with this guitar and this amp. Not that long ago. If you want to hear what it sounds like, you can check on the PRS site, and there's a very recent video of us just tooling around with it.
So if you go up on Facebook, PRS Guitars.
PRS Guitars on Facebook.
You can check out some live playing with this guitar. Well, that's very cool. So I see you got another piece of gear here, so I think we're going to hand off that guitar and we could talk about
Thank you. That's my security
your amp
detail
that you brought from PRS.
Yeah, this is the this is one of the newest and most exciting things. The two amps that came out this past week were the John Mayer amp and then the Sonzera line. So Sonzera is by far the least expensive amp in the PRS lineup by almost half. It's a great price point. All of these are under $1,000. This is $799 at Streets 4. All tube, real spring reverb tank, 2 independent channels. There's a lot of variety. I've been using a 50-watt version of this. So this is the 20-watt combo. There's a 50-watt combo, and the 50 watts also available as a head. I use the 50-watt combo half of the time switching channels, but it's a great pedal platform too. Super versatile amps. I'd say very vintage flavor amps, especially compared to the other stuff in the line. There's an Archon, very modern high gain amp. This would really appeal to somebody looking for, the tones of like late 50s, early 60s single channel amps that break up when you drive them. But there's also a really great sounding drive channel too.
All right, that's awesome. And you said that there's multiple models in the line?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so within the PRS amp department, there's families like the Archons, the 2-channel custom, and now the newest Sonzera. They all have a low power and then a higher power option, and the higher power option is always also available as a head if you want. So this is the smallest and the least expensive in the 20-watt combo. 50-watt combo is a slightly larger box, and I believe that's $899, and then you can get the 50-watt in the head also. A lot of variety.
And I know these are brand new, but do you have any players using them?
Well, yeah, actually, Chris Robertson just cut the latest record, Blackstone Cherry. He's actually one of the beta testers. There's a guy named Bosco France who has been helped kind of kick the tires. Mark Lettieri from Snarky Puppy's been playing him. I've been a PRS artist for 10 years or so, but I just happen to be lucky enough to live down the street from the factory too, so I get to kick the tires of a lot of stuff.
Handy?
Yeah, it worked out really nice. So, even though it just came out, it's been a couple years in the making of getting the research and development and making sure they told me as we took out, when you're carrying it on stage, banging it into the wall, drop it down, make sure this is going to hold up. So there's it's been a long process, but I'm really glad they're finally out. It's one of my favorite amps, regardless of the price point.
Okay. We've just got a little bit more time, but why don't you tell me a little bit more about PRS for our viewers at Twitch who may not know about your company?
So Paul started building guitars back in the late 70s just on his own and opened his factory in 1985. So just a couple years ago, celebrated his 30th anniversary. But really started as a very small boutique, small team, very small factory, limited production, high-end guitars, kind of like a Ferrari of guitars. And over the years, they've worked really hard to find ways to bring guitars, both import guitars and even other U.S.-built, hand-built guitars that come out of the same factory for lower price points. So there's an S2 line, which covers like $999 up to like $1,600. So really, any price point, there's a guitar, lots of variety, vintage style guitars, modern guitars, trem guitars, hollow bodies, and what they all have in common is Paul has probably one of the most remarkable bars he sets for himself in quality control. So he's a great guy. If you pop up to the booth to meet him, you'll know what I mean.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks
for
having
sharing
us.
that with us.